What's up, Soul Fam? Rise and shine and align with the divine. So in today's video, I wanted to talk to you guys about having faith in the process, trusting your journey, and trusting what your soul chose to come here and do without any fear. Now, when you're walking primarily in the physical reality and the 3D matrix reality, it's all based upon fear. They play off your fear. You're conditioned and programmed by society to feel lesser than, to feel like you're not good enough, to always having to buy things outside of you or do things outside of you to make yourself feel better. Don't get me wrong, I think it's important to look after your physical vessel, to feel good about yourself, you know what I mean, to feel confident. If you want to wear makeup, do your hair and all of that, feel good about yourself, go for it. But what I mean is the internal feeling goodness of yourself, the internal confidence. It's something that comes from within. That's something that we can only cultivate by going deep within ourselves, doing the shadow work, doing what it takes, doing the meditation, doing the yoga, doing the things that really bring us back to peace, balance, and alignment within ourselves. It's very important that we start to cultivate practices that do make us feel good about ourselves from the inside out. Because like I said, the entire matrix grid thrives off of fear. It thrives off of human beings being in a really low vibrational state of fear, which means that the people at the top, the 1% that is controlling everybody, they stay in control, and everybody else is out here being like a bunch of ants working on behalf of the big guys. If you haven't seen the movie Ants, highly recommend you watch that, because it's very, very true of what the matrix grid looks like. So to really pull yourself away from that and to come out of that and start to walk from a place of faith, you must really feel that something out there is looking after you. If you believe in God, believe in God. If you believe in Source, Creator, the universe, whatever it is, whatever higher power that you believe in, there is obviously an energy, a force, a source that protects us all, that is keeping everything going at its perfect harmonious balance. So for example, you know, if there was too much air, we wouldn't be able to breathe. If there was water just flowing in over the land, we'd all drown to death. So there is balance and equilibrium on planet Earth, and there is so much well-being on planet Earth. It's just a matter of tapping into it by walking on faith. And faith is something that is blind. You cannot expect to see it before it happens. You must believe it before it happens. You must really trust that something is looking after you. It's looking out for you, and no matter what you do, as long as you follow that internal calling, that intuition, and that guidance, it's going to take you there. I'm going to give you guys 3 examples of times that this has happened to me when I had to walk in blind faith, and I had to really overcome my own fears so that I could get to the next stage and the next level of my journey. Especially when you're on an ascension journey, it requires deep, deep faith and deep, deep trust in yourself and in the universe. And the more you take those steps, the more it cultivates and builds more strength within yourself and more courage and more confidence to keep walking your path. So the very first time was in 2017 when I felt really called and guided to leave my job. I was working at Apple. It was a safe job. It was a great job. I loved it. But something just didn't sit right with my soul anymore. Something was telling me that there's more for me, and I always knew that there was more for me. I always wanted to work for myself. I always wanted to become an entrepreneur and do what made me feel happy. And so I was really feeling this deep sense and urge that it was time to go. I was starting to get sick. All these things were happening. Life just around me was falling apart because it was the universe's way of trying to get me out of my comfort zone and shift me towards what was right for me. And as soon as I left Apple, I was like, what am I going to do now? I ended up in India. I did my yoga teacher training for a month, and I absolutely loved it, and it completely shifted my perspective on everything. And not long after, I came back to Australia and I launched Soul High, which was my very first business, where I was teaching yoga, I was doing readings, I was doing guided meditations and energy clearings for people. And it was absolutely amazing, because just trusting and believing that I would be okay and that I would be protected, and I had the faith that there was a reason that the universe was doing this, made me an entrepreneur to begin with. And it got me into the healing field, which is something that I absolutely loved. But at the time that I was doing Soul High, towards the end of that, I started to feel again that there was more, even more for me, because music was also part of my calling, and it's also part of my purpose. And I felt like if I'm dedicating my entire life to healing others, how am I going to then focus on my music? So backtrack a little bit. During the time with Soul High, again, the second time, I felt this real deep urge and deep pull to go somewhere else. I knew I needed to heal. I knew I needed to sort of get away from everything. I had been giving so much of my energy outwardly and healing others and helping others and doing things for other people that I kind of neglected myself in the process. And I was very excited because I was like, wow, I've got my own business now. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm doing what I want to do. But at the same time, I didn't have the level of freedom and autonomy that I was really, really seeking deep down inside. And so I felt this call and this pull to travel and go somewhere different. And I ended up relocating to the sunny coast. And the funny part about it was there was a picture of the Sunshine Coast on my vision board. And that's another thing I highly recommend you do. Create a vision board with things that you really want. And at the time that I was creating that board, I kind of just cut out a picture of the beach because I just, I wanted nature, more of nature in my life, and I stuck it on there. And it wasn't until I actually went to the sunny coast and I was about to leave that I realized, oh my God, that's the Sunshine Coast, And so I ended up in the sunny coast, and I ended up doing a lot of healing on myself, a lot of traveling, a lot of moving around, going to beaches, reconnecting to nature, meeting new people. It was a very phenomenal experience for me. And again, just listening to and following that calling set me years ahead on my path. It was like I did a quantum leap and quantum jump energetically and vibrationally. Again, like I said, things happen vibrationally and energetically first before they happen physically. So cultivate the energy, cultivate the vibration without having to see it to believe it. And before you know it, you're going to be seeing it and believing it. Now, the third time, like I said, when I came back from Sunny Coast, I started to feel this call of just like, it's time to release Soul High. And this was just before quarantine started. And I was like, Spirit, really? Like, how am I going to make money? This is my income source. Soul High is all I've got. I don't have another job outside of this. And now it's quarantine. What do you mean it's time for me to let this go? And Spirit was just like, have faith. You've trusted us this far and everything's worked out for you. Why not keep going? And so I let go of Soul High, and it was really difficult for me because it was like my baby. It was something that I spent so much time and energy and effort in creating, but it was almost like the building blocks and the foundations of teaching me all the tools and resources that I would need from that point forward, and with what I'm doing now with Multidimensional Productions. And so I let it go, and as soon as I let it go, MDP and all of the information about what I needed to do with this platform started to come through to me. So that's another thing. The only time that you're going to be able to receive new insight is when you create space for it. So you're going to have to give something of equal value to get something of equal value. Again, it's like that giving and receiving, and that infinity symbol of that mutual exchange of energy. It needs to be in a state of flow. We need to give something of equal value, something that's important to us, to be able to receive something just as good or even better. And that's how MDP and the idea of MDP and the downloads of MDP started to come through to me. And all of 2020, I was guided to just pull myself off the grid and focus on my own healing and focus on my own internal work, because Spirit was like, this is the stuff that you're going to be using to help others with MDP. And I did that. And I completely ripped myself off the grid, and I started going in and really doing some deep healing work. And I mean like generational curses, ancestral, bloodline, all of it, you name it, past lives, sexual trauma, this trauma, that trauma, childhood wounds, everything. And I really started to cultivate this energy of being able to then receive light language and connect with the galactic beings. Had I not have listened to my inner calling, had I not have pulled myself off the grid, I wouldn't have been able to do that. I wouldn't have been able to create the space within myself and within my being and within my energetic and auric field to be able to receive that information. And so that was another time that I did listen to my faith over my fear. And here we are right now today with Multidimensional Productions. It is a platform where I have music and healing all fused into the one place. Ever so grateful that I had listened to my intuition and my internal calling. And sometimes people get confused. They're like, I don't know if it's my fear speaking, or if it's my intuition, or if it's my mind, or what it is. I highly recommend that you place your hands on your heart space and you take a deep breath in. And you ask yourself what it is. So, for example, if you're about to start a business, you just take the breath in and ask yourself, soul, should I start this business? And if you feel calm, then you know it's for real. If you feel like your body is like cringing and shaking and doesn't want to, That's how you know it's not for you. So the more you can listen to yourself and have faith and trust in yourself, the more you're going to build confidence in your inner guidance system, the more you're going to be able to act by faith and act in alignment with your true soul's calling and purpose, rather than feeding into the fears. The fears are going to come in. It's like that little devil on your shoulder saying, nah, you can't do it, you're going to suck at this. And then the angel's like, bro, don't listen to him, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's a fallen angel. He used to be one of us, and now he's just, running around rampant trying to make everybody pissed off because he's pissed off. So you got to really try and focus on the good things in life. Focus on that good voice, that little angel that's sitting on your shoulder, because anytime that you start to feel scared, afraid, in fear, nervous, tense, anxious, it's all coming from that low vibrational space. It's all coming from the little red guy on your shoulder. And if you really think about it, the devil, the depiction of the devil is just a red guy with horns, and a pitchfork. So you have nothing to fear, fam. See the goodness, see the angel, see the wings, see the light, and go towards that light. It's not always going to be easy. There will be dark days. There will be times when you're going to feel down and out. But I promise you, if you don't listen to yourself when you're in a low vibration, because you don't know what you're doing when you're in a low vibration, trust me when I say that, and you just kind of let it ride out and feel those feelings and let them release. Take the day or two or even a week if you need to allow those old feelings and low vibrations to process through you, so that you can move forward freely towards the light. So I hope that this video helps you guys. It's definitely helped me to follow my faith and to just listen to the calling, and to not feed into all the limiting belief systems and all of the negative mind chatter that happens, and to just go towards what is real and right and good for me. And positive affirmations are really going to help you on that journey, and so is energy clearing. And there's some videos that I've already got up on this channel that might help you on that journey to balance, merge and align with yourself, and to really raise your vibration and step into an atmosphere of faith, love and confidence. So with that said, take care, stay blessed, stay high vibing. I'll see you guys in my next video.